Hello folks, this is Mike Murtis with GamerLogic.net, and today we're going to be doing a review of the EverdDrive-N8. This is a Nintendo Entertainment System / Famicom flash card that will allow you to play almost any Nintendo, Famicom, or Famicom Disk System game, all on a microSD card up to 32 gigabytes in size. Now before we start this review, I'm going to be making several mentions to this product here, and this is the RetroZone / Retro USB NES Power Pack. Now the reason I'm mentioning this is because there's obviously going to be some technical advantages with this flash card over this one, because this was released all the way back in 2008, and I don't want to make it to seem like I'm bashing this at all, because really it's not fair in some instances to compare the technical abilities of these products because of the age difference between them. Retro USB makes some great stuff and I'm not bashing them at all, but obviously I'm going to be making some comparisons because there'll be people out there who will want to know what's the difference between the two of them and want to decide what's the best bang for their buck. So with that, let's get into this review on the EverdDrive-N8. So as of filming of this review, checking Stone Age Gamer right now, you can actually go to stoneagegamer.com and get the EverdDrive-N8 Deluxe Edition, at least in the Formula Red color, for about $159.99. It says it's in stock at the moment. Now, what is the Deluxe Edition, you ask? What the Deluxe Edition is, first off, you get this fantastic case. Kudos to Stone Age Gamer. They always create great cases for their stuff that look high quality. If you saw this in the store, you'd probably buy it, right? But let's go ahead and pop this case open and I'll show you what you get. First off, we get some very cool EverdDrive sticker, as well as Stone Age Gamer. Love the icon. Everything looks great about that. Another sticker there. And then obviously the main function of this unit is the flash card itself. And with the deluxe version, you actually get, instead of just the bare bones board that you would get in the regular edition, you get a full-blown cart here, a cartridge shell that looks fantastic. It's Formula Red, like he stated. You get the great front here that looks like the classic Famicom series games that you would get if you first picked up your Famicom back in the 80s. We got a back here. I'll do some zoom-ins of these. But again, just a really high quality shell. You have the screws here if you do need to get to this. And then on the side, you do have the memory card slot for the micro SD, and it pops out easily without any issue. So great card here. Obviously, the main function of this in your Nintendo is probably what you guys want to see. Now I actually got the Famicom version of this, so this is going to be played in a AV Famicom. So we're going to go ahead and dive into what the menu features are of this, how it plays games, and how it saves as well. So why don't we take a look at that, and we'll be back in a second. So this is the main menu of the N8 unit, and what you can do is you have a variety of different options. B goes forward, A goes back, and if you hit select, you have a main menu. You can go into options, cheats, which is game Genie codes, device info, mapper info, or about. We're going to go out of this right now and hit B here to go into the main menu. Basic capabilities here, this stuff works. So if we go into J, for example, and we choose a game, why don't we do Journey to Silius here. And what's nice is this gives you the full name of the file, which I believe is an advantage over the NES Power Pack. So here we go. We're going to hit B. We're going to do select and start. Now really quickly, if you just wanted to do select only, it'll load the actual ROM up, but not start it. So if you wanted to go in and do the cheats or game Genie codes, you still have the option to do that, which is really nice. So let's just do select and start here. Press B, and we're loading up. Nice and quick, and here's the title screen. We're going to hit start. Intro comes up. Audio, it seems, is to spec, which is great. And there we go. We are in the game, and everything is working fine, working great, no issues. No graphical glitches, unless they were intended on the original cart. And we're working great there. So we're going to go ahead and hit reset. And I want to show you the save capabilities of this. One of the features I did not enjoy about the NES Power Pack was the fact that in order to save, you had to hold the reset button down for a couple of seconds and then initiate a save file in order to keep your battery backed up game safe, right? Well, that scared me a lot, especially if I was going to invest time in a RPG. I would rather use my real cart, pop that in, and know that the save battery works than possibly spending hours on a game, forgetting to hit the reset button, and losing progress. On this, you don't have to worry about that due to the fact that this cart has a battery that does save to the actual SD card, which is pretty awesome. So in order to verify if the saves are there, I can just go into my save directory here, and as you can see, I have a couple of games. I have The Legend of Zelda, I have Shadowgate, Zelda 2, two different versions here basically. And it's great because all I have to do is load up my game, save it like normal, and power the unit off. And then if I want to make sure the save is there, I simply power the unit back on and my save will be there. And if I go into another game and save that, then it basically creates the save file. And if you wanted to back up your saves, I imagine you can do that easily on the memory card. So it's very nice. Now the only change to that solution is if you're playing a Famicom Disk System game, you can save your Famicom Disk progress, but they recommend that you instead save, hit the reset button, take it to the main menu, and then shut the unit down. Otherwise, if you just shut it off, the save won't happen. Now, for whatever reason, the saves aren't listed here. That must be in a different format. Maybe it's baked into the ROM afterwards. I'm not really sure about that, but it does work, which is amazing. Another nice feature is due to the fact that the saves are labeled exactly as the ROM is titled. If you have multiple ROMs of stuff, maybe different versions or whatever, you can find it here, because I can't tell you how many times I've had like 30 different versions of a certain game, and I try to load a save file, and it's just not there, or just not compatible. A good example is here's Shadowgate USA 02.NES. So if I want to make sure my save files are compatible, I want to make sure that I choose this ROM. And just to show that this does work, we're going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go into ROMs here. Shadowgate 02. We're going to select and start this. I don't have to choose the save file, which is amazing. I push start here, and as you can see, there's no new on file 1, so this is working, and I should be in the very entrance of the castle keep here if I continue. And look at that. It works, and works without issue. No worries of having to hold down the reset button for 5 seconds like on the NES Power Pack. So another great feature of this cart is the fact that you can play Famicom Disk System games, and as I mentioned, they will save, which is fantastic. And just to show you an example of how these work, let's go ahead and bring up the first game here, which is Castlevania 1 actually, on the Famicom Disk System. Comes up with the Famicom Disk BIOS. Little disclaimer. And there we go, 1986, the original Castlevania. Now, I did fire this up once to test it, so by all means, I should be able to go into my save file if it's here. And look at that, there it is. So I should start on the second level of the game. Now loading. Loading is relatively quick with these. I think it just depends on the way the game is programmed. As you see, please set disk B, and I believe it'll automatically go. If it doesn't, you can usually hit a button, but it did automatically go in that instance. And there we go. Working great, not a problem, and I can play my disk system games. I'll be able to play a lot of stuff I've never been able to play before. Now, I do believe the NES Power Pack does have Famicom Disk System capabilities. Unfortunately, I've never really used them much, so I can't honestly compare them there. But this is pretty simple, folks, and the fact that, again, you don't have to deal with any of the holding the reset button down to save your progress, this is pretty awesome. So one of my only complaints about this thing is the fact that you can't launch a text file of Game Genie codes like you could on the NES Power Pack. there was a feature on there where if you open a text file, drop the codes into a notepad document, and then copied that over to the compact flash, then you could pull up all those Game Genie codes without having to dart your head back and forth between the screen and find out what those annoying codes are. Now, unfortunately, you're not able to do that on here, but I will say the fact that you at least can do the Game Genie codes is fantastic. I do know there's some flash cards out there that do not offer the option at all, so that's a plus there. I hope you enjoyed that inner look of the actual functionality of the EverdDrive-N8. I definitely think this is a cartridge worth picking up over the NES Power Pack for the simple features alone that you don't have to worry about losing any of your saved games. It also plays stuff nicely, and the fact that you can do up to 32 gigabytes for your microSD card gives you plenty of storage opportunities, probably more than you'll ever need, but it certainly beats 2 to 4 gigabytes that other flash cards feature. I hope you enjoyed this review of the EverdDrive-N8. Again, you can pick this up at stoneagegamer.com, and you've been watching another edition of Gamer Logic.